for having me. It's an honor to be here in a beautiful facility. I was talking, I think the last time I visited this club was at the Cedar Bluff Library over there. And
Much better. We had done an upgrade.
For sure. And I love that you opened with the word of prayer and that Bible verse, and that particular verse, be still and know that I am Lord. That's a verse that at our house we've kind of made into sort of a family verse, and we've got several places around the house, little notes just to remind us to be still, and it's really important. I was actually talking, before I came here, I was over with Halloran Hill on the radio, and off the air we were talking about just the little messages God gives you throughout the day if you keep your eyes open. And I wasn't planning on saying this, but just when you said that verse, I thought, that's one of those little moments. But I'm running for county clerk, and for those of you who aren't familiar with our family, I grew up in a family that emphasized public service and the virtues of helping and serving others. My dad, Congressman Jimmy Duncan, served for 30 years. And my grandfather before him, Becky Massey, my aunt, is in the state Senate right now. And so I grew up seeing public service done the right way. And with our family, it never was about headlines or getting on cable news, even though there were opportunities for my dad to do that. It was really always about constituent service and helping people one-on-one. And when you look at Knox County government, I've called the clerk's office the sort of the front door of county government, because not everybody's going to deal with our court system, and not everybody's going to go to the mayor's office, but just about everybody at some point is going to come through the Knox County clerk's office, and whether it's vehicle registrations, a business license, a marriage license. And so when I look at where I can impact the most people and help the most people, this is an opportunity to just help regular everyday people navigate through their government. I think I'm qualified for this office. Unlike my competition in the race, I've spent the majority of my career in the private sector. I started out in banking. I've started businesses. For a while I was the CEO of a medical technology company. Most recently I've been with Comcast as the territory manager for this area. And so I know what it's like to work in the private sector. I know what it's like to have to live off of commissions and meet payrolls and deal with money that's not public money and that's not automatically going to be there. And there's great people that work in the city-county building and in county government, but anyone who's worked there and worked in the private sector knows there is a difference, and I want to bring that business-like mindset to this office. I want to improve the services of the office, eliminate waste wherever possible, and make the office more transparent as the main issues that I'm running on. But when they ask the question of what's the biggest problem impacting Knox County, and I thought about it, and from a bigger perspective than just the clerk's office, when I think about it, I think the biggest problem we're facing right now is there's a slow but a gradual shift in political ideology and philosophy to the left side, particularly my generation and younger. You're seeing people embracing radical ideas and socialism. And what can we do about it is we can elect Republicans who don't just talk like Republicans, but who are going to govern like Republicans. And that starts with fiscal responsibility and eliminating waste. I believe in zero-sum budgeting. That's where, instead of looking at last year's budget and figuring out what you're going to cut, you start at zero, and before anything goes in the budget, every single dollar is scrutinized and justified so you can make sure that we're getting the most bang for our buck. As far as improving services in the office goes, the biggest problem with the clerk's office, at the end of the month, the lines back up, and we want to do whatever we can to reduce that line and make it a more pleasant and comfortable experience to go to the clerk's office. And one way to do that several candidates have talked about is bringing in a self-service kiosk for simple transactions. And that's something in Davidson County they've been doing for 11 years. I believe 5 of the surrounding counties, the border of Knox County already have it, about 33 counties in the state have it, and this would be a kiosk system for people, you know, who are tech savvy, who just are conducting simple, basic transactions, and they can go and, you know, renew their tags and a few other basic transactions that way, and just get in and out to hopefully reduce the line. But while we want to introduce these new technologies, we don't want to sacrifice that one-on-one service, and I want to step up the customer service to the highest level possible. I want everybody there to feel like a person and not a number, and I want you to walk away just with a pleasant experience. I believe, you know, in using data to figure out how to work more efficiently, but I also believe in just old-fashioned feedback, and I want to listen as much as possible. And another thing the clerk's office does that not everybody's aware of is the county clerk also serves as the official clerk of record for the county commission. And so they're responsible for all of the records and documents of the county commission. And the people in this room I know are very interested in county government. And if you've ever wanted to research what the county commission has been up to, you almost have to be an expert already and know the exact day or the exact meeting that they were talking about a certain issue. And I want to take all of these records and modernize them, you know, and take them from the PDF format to more of a digital platform where we'll have a searchable database. You'll be able to use AI and ask questions similar to what you see in the state legislature or in Washington. And so that's a way where you can know how your commissioners are voting, see what the commission's been up to, and it's really a way to shine more of a light on the government, because that goes back to that issue of how can we stop the government from going too far left. It's by being exceptional, it's by electing, you know, the best leaders we can, and by being open and honest and showing that running fiscally responsible and conservative government works. And I believe that we can do that by being open. Just a little bit about me. I grew up here in Knoxville, born and raised. I've got twins at home who are 10 years old. And we live not too far down the road in West Knoxville as well. And I talked about my private sector experience. I also actually, you know, as a lot of you know, I do have a public sector experience as well. So 16 years ago, I ran for the Knox County Trustee's office, and I was elected and served in that office. And while I was in the trustee's office, we cut the budget there by over 20%. And at the same time, I know Justin talked a little bit about the numbers. We increased investment income at the time by 53%, and we increased delinquent collections by over 30%. We had some really good results. Some of you might remember before then, the highest paid person in or around Knox County government was the delinquent tax attorney. There was a contract, an attorney was making over $400,000 a year for doing some pretty routine, basic legal work. On my first day in office, I eliminated that. We brought it in-house. All the trustees that have followed since have kept it that way. So by this point, the savings have added up to millions and millions of dollars. I also restructured the satellite offices. We had people who were, I'm dreading that buzzer. but we make several positive changes, and so I've done it before in the public and private sector. I've cut budgets, I've made the hard choices, and I'm willing to do it again. And I look forward to getting to know you all, to answering any questions you have. Hopefully I can earn your vote, and if not your vote and support, I at least ask for your prayers, not just for me, but for all of the candidates running, as well as the office holders, because praying for our community and our leaders works and is important. And I thank you all for your time.
Thank you.